Hey guys, it's Joe with Pocketnow.com. In the past, we've shown you all kinds of cool shortcuts on how to get to your information faster, or how to get your Android to do stuff just by talking to it. Well, today it's kind of a little bit different. We've shown you something called Google Gesture Search in the past, which is essentially Google Search using gestures by writing on the screen. Well, there are a whole bunch more players in the field now, so let's go take a look. Okay, so first up is our old standby, and that is Google Gesture Search. It's free in the market. You can go ahead and download it and install it, and essentially you get this very palm-looking search bar, if you will. It blacks out the whole screen. It has a little text area down at the bottom, and you actually write what you're searching for up in this top part, and your gestures will be minimized and written down here in this lower part. So if I want to call Citibank, I write a C. It blanks out. Now I've got my C down here, and everybody with the C shows up. An I. I'm getting closer. A T. Y. Oh wait, it's not city, it's city, but still, Citibank is showing up. So that's really kind of cool. If I want to then dial them, I can. So kind of easy there. But it's a little bit difficult to get to because you've got to have that shortcut sitting on your home screen to be able to get into gesture search mode. Well, to accommodate that, here's an app called Gesture Bar, which doesn't have any relation to Google Gesture Search. What it does, rather, is it adds, let me show you, go ahead and show that, it adds a gesture search icon up in your notification bar. You can set that when you boot up, or even set that as the default when you long press on the search button, which would then override the voice search functionality that comes stock with that long pressing on the search button. But let's see what that does. So we're going to go back home, and here we go. We've got it up in the bar. We're going to pull this down and tap, and we can launch gesture search right there, and we're right back into the Google Gesture Search app. So not all that convenient. Rather than having a button to tap right there on your home screen, now you have to pull down your notification shade and then tap on that item in the notification bar. So a few steps to get there. However, it does make it convenient because your notification bar is almost always present. It's almost always there. Similarly, if you're on your home screen, your little tray buttons down here are usually always there as well. You know, I could come over here to another home screen, and now it's not there, so I have to find the home screen that I have that on, or open up my app drawer to get to it the other way. Now, if I'm already in an app and not on the home screen, that's where that comes in kind of handy. So, interesting way that we can do that. If we want to go ahead and close that, we launch the app again, and we simply hide, and then it is gone from the top bar. Well, next we've got an idea of calling someone just by writing a gesture. And that's where this app called Gesture Call comes into play. You tap on the app. This is, of course, free, as are everything that I've shown you so far. It is paid by ads that run down at the bottom. You're familiar with that with a lot of free apps. Here we can add a gesture. We can see our existing gestures, and we can go into options. In this case, confirming that you've got the right place before you make that call, which is really a good idea, just in case you've got a couple gestures that are similar, or it didn't quite understand who you're trying to call. You've got a chance to back out before that person is called. So from here, let's go ahead and take a look. I've got Citibank in here again, so let's write a C for Citibank. It recognizes that and says, hey, do you really want to call Citibank? Yes, and I can toggle a checkbox right there to not show that message again, which I believe is not gesture based. I believe that's for the entire app. We can go ahead and tap yes and make that call. Now, it's kind of interesting. Let's go into gestures here really quick. Here is Citibank. We've got to a long press on an item. We'll go ahead and edit that gesture. I wanted that gesture to be a $sign. Okay, so let's go ahead and create that. And now let's go back and write our $sign. Doesn't really matter how I do my $sign, it never recognizes it. So it looks like you've got to do very simple single stroke gestures in the Gesture Call app to be able to to get that to work the way that you want it to. But when it does, if you're doing just single stroke characters or gestures, it works really well. Now, the app that started this whole thing off is called Sign. And one of our Pocketnow readers, James Stockett, actually contacted me about this and said, hey, you've got to give this a try. So we are, and that led to some of the others. This is probably one of the more well thought out gesture apps. It's not like Gesture Search, where it searches everything. It's not like Gesture Call, where all you can do is call. Rather, Sign Lite lets you send a text or call a phone number based on a gesture. As you notice here, you've got a top bar, which has a back button, configuration button or settings button, and add person or add gesture button. You'll also notice that it goes away very, very quickly. So let's go back into that. Down at the bottom, you've got a call icon and a text icon right down there. You'll also notice in the background, this is beautiful weather live wallpaper, and yes, it is raining outside. Just a little aside there. But while I was doing that, it went away again. First thing that I really like about this app, it's not there all the time. It's only there when you want it, and it's very elegant in the way that it goes away. One thing I don't particularly like about it is these are semi-transparent, and they're so transparent that the buttons on the bottom kind of disappear. I'd like a little bit more opacity, a little bit less translucency on those so that you could see them a little bit better. Let's go ahead and take a look. In this middle area that went away, that middle area is where you write your gestures. So you've actually got a transparent gesture surface that you can write in. So let's go ahead and do our Citibank symbol. And right there, it does something. Now I'm going to go ahead and cancel that so it doesn't call. But let's go back and see what it did. First of all, it took that more complex gesture, which is very nice. You can do multi-stroke. It didn't take multiple times to recognize the gesture. It just went ahead and did it. The second thing is I configured it so that it had a vibrate on recognize. So as soon as it recognized it, it vibrated the phone, let me know, hey, I've got this. And at that point, it came up with the dialogue that said, okay, hey, this is who I think it is. Do you want to go ahead and call? And let's go ahead and do that again. So we come back in here, call Citibank, and we have a configurable timer, a countdown timer. And we'll see if, yeah, it did. It went ahead and called. But we've got this configurable countdown timer then that basically gives us an opportunity to not dial the number, just like the other app did, but it also gives us a timeout so we don't have to interact with it to go ahead and make the call. Now that's something that you can change in the settings. So let's go back in here to settings, and default dial mode, you can set that to either call or text. Vibration, that's what we talked about. Vibrate after dial gesture for confirmation of success. Log, we want to not keep a call log after outgoing calls. The call confirmation duration, we can set that up as high as 4 seconds. I'd really like to see that go up more, and then down as low as no seconds. So let's go ahead and put that up at 4. And then the gesture threshold, which is how strict you want the match to your gesture to be. Now this is the light version of the app. Light version is free. The premium version costs about $2, so really not that bad. The light version is really there for you to give it a try and see if you like it. If you do, then you can go ahead and buy it. But let's go ahead and go in here to our contacts, and let's say I want to contact Allstate Insurance at work, and I'll do the letter A, and it doesn't save because the light version only allows me to save 3 contacts or 3 signs at one time. If I want to add more signs, I have to download the full version, which really isn't a problem. You know, it's a kind of a limited version of the app. Lets you try it and see if you are happy with it, and if you are, then you go ahead and buy the full version. So let's go ahead and look at a couple other things. Now that we've talked about things that I like, in here we can see all of my settings, or all of my contacts rather. We can view all that I have assigned. So I've just got these 3, and that's why it won't let me add any more. But you'll notice I can't add a contact from here. That's one thing that I'd like. If I don't have someone already in my gesture list, I would really like a button that says, hey, go ahead and add a person, and then have that take me over to my default contact manager. It doesn't do that. I'd kind of like it. Second thing, and this I really like, You'll notice I have two buttons out here, and you might be saying, hey Joe, why do you have two buttons there? One is actually a widget. So this is a shortcut that I pulled in from my app drawer and just dropped it on the screen. This is a widget, and I did that by long pressing on the home screen and choosing widgets and then picking that out of the list. They do the same thing, but I really don't need to know what this is. I don't have to have the word underneath it because the button is so very, very distinct and really kind of elegant. So I can then just tap on the widget. It has a little bit of an animation to show me that it's kind of off hook. So let's go back and show that to you again. See if you can see it. That's something that the regular shortcut icon doesn't have. So kind of nice, a little bit cleaner, takes up less space on the screen. But that gets us back to the same issue that we had before. You do have to have it on the screen. So if I don't have it on here, I'd have to have a shortcut icon down here. And of course, this is only shortcuts, not widgets. But again, you know, these guys don't have text under them, so that's kind of okay. But I can't access it from anywhere else, meaning like the gesture bar, I could pull down my notification bar from any app and be able to get right to that, to the gesture search, the Google gesture search. But with Sign, I can't do that. It's something that I'd like to see them do, but honestly, I don't know how they do that. Other than putting something up in the notification bar, which really, that's getting kind of cluttered already, and I only have one email. You know, normally I'll have a Twitter, maybe even a Facebook alert, a calendar alert up there. I've got a lot of stuff, you know, downloads, I've got a ROM manager update, so this space is getting very, very crowded, even just now with only one icon up there. So I don't know if necessarily putting it up there in the notification bar is the best way to do it. Possibly, like what CyanogenMod has done, coming across here and putting it in that tray, or that nightshade, but up here at the top, so that it's not in, get that to go away, it's not in the bar, but it is in the shade. Now HTC Sense does some stuff like that as well, so it'd be kind of nice if we occupied that space with common or frequently used stuff that we want to have access to easily, but not, you know, distract us from everything up there. So kind of interesting. Searching and dialing and doing stuff with your fingers. One other thing, and James shared this with me, and I agree, I can only call or text using this app. Unlike gesture search, I can't launch an app, I can't search for other stuff on my phone. I don't know if I really should, because this is very basic, very simple. It's a clean and elegant concept, but I'd still like to have that functionality maybe buried somewhere deep in a configuration screen to turn that on or off, or somehow done elegantly so I can launch an app easily using the gesture search, so I don't have to go hunting for it in my big long list of stuff that's in my app drawer. So, kind of interesting. I'd like to thank James for sending in the recommendation. One thing he did want me to mention is that he has been in contact with the developer. The developer is very, very quick in responding, and just a regular, normal, ordinary person. At least that was my impression, not some huge company that you've got to get a help desk ticket number before they'll answer you back. So very nice there. I do want to thank James for sending in that recommendation. If you've got an app that you think is novel or unique that we haven't seen before, or maybe something that we've seen before but has been vastly improved and you want to share it with the rest of the Pocketnow.com viewers, make sure you send that in to us. You can click on our contact information on any one of our articles, just the byline right there underneath the title, and send us off an email. That will get to us immediately and we'll be able to respond to it as fast as we can. Of course, if you see breaking news happening or have some kind of a tip that you'd like to send in to us, you can also click on the Tip Us button over there at Pocketnow.com as well. Of course, since this is a video, we want to make sure if you liked it, give the video a big thumbs up. If you don't like it, let us know in the comments what you'd like to see done differently. If you have some suggestions on apps that we missed or didn't cover well enough, or if there's features of these apps that we didn't cover that you think we should have, leave those in the comments as well. Of course, you'll want to subscribe to our video channel if you haven't done so already. It's free and it's probably the best way to keep up to date on what's going on with all kinds of smartphone stuff in a video format. And of course, if you want text, you can head over to Pocketnow.com, subscribe to our RSS feed, and then you'll be able to stay up to date, and your friends will be envious of the breadth and depth of your knowledge. So, showing off all the cool stuff you can do with gestures on Android. For Pocketnow.com, I'm Joe Levi.